Do you get discouraged when you hear money is tight, I can't afford it, or things like I don't have the time for? And this is Chen Yan, your 6 and 7 figure practice makeover mentor at introvertedvisionary.com and your host for the American Acupuncture Council show today. So, this can be something that when you hear, you think, oh, I could so help this person. And so, how can you navigate this so that whoever you're talking to will actually end up deciding to come in for treatments if it's really the best fit for them and if it could really help them. So let's talk about this. That there are a couple of key things that can help with this. The first thing is that it's really important because how many of you feel like you don't want to be pushy, right? Go ahead and like this if you feel like you don't want to be pushy because you're not alone with that. And I one thing about this is that I was actually thinking about this one day. I thought I just had this click that, you know what? There's actually no pushiometer out there. There's no one that says, oh, you're pushy. Oh, wait, you're not pushy. Oh, wait, you're pushy, right? So it's really about how can we come from the person's highest good in how we help or talk to our potential patients or clients. And if we can be in alignment with that, then we can't control whether someone might feel like we are being pushy or not. So can you navigate when someone says to you, money is tight or I can't afford it? So how many of you are feeling like you're hearing this more or maybe just about the same or less than before? Go ahead and type in the comment and below and I'm curious. I'd love to see. So as far as the money is tight thing, the first thing too that's important is to really help whoever you're talking to feel heard. So, for example, what acknowledging that they said that, whether it's I understand or empathize with their what they're saying, and then the next step is something that a lot of acupuncturists and other holistic practitioners end up skipping over um, bring up and which is finding out more about what what they're really thinking. And why is this? Because when someone says money is tight or I can't afford it, why does someone say that? Sometimes they truly can't afford it, right? But sometimes it's because they don't really know how you could like they haven't really um bought into the idea of coming to you for treatments or that this is the best approach for them yet. So they might say that because they're not really sure yet. And and then because have you ever paid for something that it maybe you even were looking for this one particular thing, but then you didn't think it was the right fit, so you thought, oh, you even mentioned to someone that you couldn't afford it, but then you might have turned around and bought something that was even more expensive, right? So the truth was you had the money, but that whatever you were looking for, you didn't feel like it was the right fit, so you just said you couldn't afford it, but you really could afford it. How many of you has that ever happened to you before? So the first step is to find out what more about their situation and in terms of whether they're interested or they're ready to move forward. It's just that money is a consideration or not. So what you can say is this something you want to do and money is a consideration or you're not really sure yet. So that way they can tell you more about how they're really feeling about the treatment that you're recommending. Then what you can say next is you can say, let's talk it through. Happy to answer any questions for you. So what questions or considerations you could either say considerations or you could say concerns. What questions or concerns are you having? So then you could understand more about where they're coming from. And then if there's something that they aren't as educated about yet, or then you can educate them about that. But if you never ask that question, then and you jump to conclusions that they can't afford it, then you would never know that. So that's really important, and um, can help you. The other thing is that depending on what the where you're at in the conversation and how the conversation is going, sometimes it's about being very direct with people. For example, it could be mentioning this. So you can write this down. We will pay for what we prioritize to be important. The truth is, when you don't have your health, you don't have anything. When you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And then just leave it at that. And then you could say it's up to you. And again, if you are truly coming from that person's highest good, then what you say will land for people and really help them think. And, I can't tell you how many times I've heard from acupuncturists and other practitioners. For example, this one acupuncturist was telling me that she had a patient of hers tell her that I can't afford it. And then she drives off in this really, really, really nice car, right? And sometimes people need to be reminded about the importance of their health. And that's what you're there for. So if you truly have their best in terms of you feeling like you're recommending what's truly best for them in your heart, then you saying being direct will actually help them think. So uh, now let's talk a little bit about the consideration of I don't have time. So this is something where how many of you sometimes hear this? Well, I don't have time to come back once a week or twice a week or once a month. I'm so busy. Uh, the times that you have just don't work for me. And then you start thinking, oh wait, maybe I need to go change around my calendar, make myself more available at this time so I can fit them in, or right. And so the again, this is a similarly, you can bring up, so there are two reasons why someone might say that they don't have time. One is that they are really busy and then they're not really seeing the value of what you're recommending in terms of them coming in for treatments as a higher value to what they're doing with their time. And so this is another scenario where either it might require them understanding the importance of getting the treatments and how it's going to help with their health and how important that is. And if it makes sense to, you could also bring in the truth is that if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And sometimes even, people like us, right, clinicians who really care about our health, even ourselves, we need to be reminded of that sometimes when we get busy as well, and let alone our patients or potential patients. So now the very important thing here is, remember how I mentioned to you about how many of you are concerned about being too pushy. So here's one hot tip. So that is in terms of, if you are already thinking about how can you help them understand or educate them more about this so they get it more, before you say things like, uh, you know, is this something that you want to do? But money is a consideration, or saying things like the truth is if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Before saying that, it's really important for your potential patient or patient to feel heard. So the first step is to acknowledge them, whether it's whatever they said to you, like I understand, or whatever they say, and really feel into understanding them from where they're at. The only thing that I wouldn't say that I understand or frame that I get that is I don't have the money, or I can't afford it. So instead of saying I understand you don't have the money, right? Or I understand you can't afford it. Why? Why would I not reinforce that? It's just because people say that for different reasons, right? Some people say it because they can't afford it. They truly can't afford it. Some people say it because they can afford it, but they don't really see that this is something they want to do yet, like they're not sure yet, right? And so, or they don't see the value in it, or they don't trust in you enough, and that's why they're just saying I can't afford it. And that's why it if someone says that, you don't need to reinforce that for them, because it may or may not be true. So what you can say in that situation, and what I like to say or recommend our clients say is, if it resonates with you, is that I understand it sounds like money is a consideration for you right now. And then you can talk things through. Okay. So as far as here's another hot tip as far as the uh, here's one of our clients. She's actually so she's an acupuncturist, and then she says that she likes to work this into the conversation. And so you could listen in on this and then see if it resonates with you, and if it also matches up with what's happening, then you could also incorporate it in your visits or conversations by phone. So she says that she likes to bring up to people that at the end of the day, she only wants people who are happy to be here. So if it doesn't feel good to you, then then this isn't the time for you to do this. However, if it feels good and it's something that you want to do, let's talk it through. So it's like, let's talk through your XYZ, right? Let's talk it through to see if we can work it out together. Because once you leave, then I can't give you any other information. So if there's something that I can talk through, then let's talk through it. Right? So once you leave, so it could be once you leave or once you get off the phone, right? Once you get off the phone, then I can't give you any other information. So there's something we could talk through. Let's talk through it. Right? So really energetically with this, it's about being committed but not attached. Being committed to help them, but not be attached to them seeing you. So energetically holding that space for your potential patient or client. So do you ever have other kinds of concerns that people bring up, like, but you don't accept insurance, and then that's the end of the conversation? Or I need to, for some of you who may be uh, offering things like packages or things that could involve spouse, like fertility kinds of things, um, do you ever get people saying, oh, I need to talk to my spouse, right? So, and do you end up feeling like, um, what do I say to this, right? And and so if these are and other kinds of considerations or concerns sometimes trip you up as far as how best to hold the energy, how best to hold the space for whoever it is that you're talking to, and what to say, right? And so if that's something that has been a challenge, or you would just like to be having more mastery with holding the space, then feel free to check out our website at introvertedvisionary.com, and you can go to the about button and then the contact button and just message me there, and I'm happy to give you a template that a script as far as what you can, a framework of what you can see if it resonates as far as how to navigate, for example, the insurance kind of situation, which can come up in a practice often. So that way you're not in a place where it's like, do you accept insurance? And if you don't accept their insurance, or if you don't accept insurance at all, then that's the end of the conversation. So how can you navigate that in an authentic way and that feels good to you? So so feel free to just message me there at introvertedvisionary.com, and click about and then contact us, and happy to send that to you. So uh, to you, educating people and really holding the space for their highest good. And if it's not the highest good for them in terms of what you feel like would be good for them, then refer them somewhere else or suggest something else. And that will allow you um, to have the space to continue to attract people who are really the best fit to work with you. So look forward to hearing how this goes, and until next time, see you.